Don't you see we handling grown folks' business?
This one's for the grown and sexy. Grown and sexy.
I love it.
I love it.
You already know.
By Straight No Chaser Talk Radio.
Well, I like the sound of that.
Well, good evening once again, and welcome to another issue of Straight No Chaser, where we never dilute the issues, we only serve the hard stuff. It's the Chief, and of course we are back again, and we've been gone for a few minutes, but before we go any further, we have to introduce the crew. We'll start with the man, the myth, the legend. You know him, you love him. Ladies and gentlemen, the maestro, Dr. T.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
All right, Doc. And of course, the fan favorite everybody's been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. She's back. Sophisticated Shannon.
Good evening, good evening. Glad to be back.
Oh, the audience is glad to hear you back. Wow. Well, you know, guys, it's been a busy time since we last got together. A lot going on, and of course, folks are getting in the graduation mode now, and the kids are on the collegiate level and on the high school level trying to figure it out so they can get those last couple credits in and walk across the stage. And I know that you and Dr. T are very familiar with what happens, particularly on the high school level. And you have some folks in the well, Tom Jr. can't walk across the stage, and why is Lemonitra? Why did they snatch a gown away from her? And so we know that kind of stuff is going on. So we want to chat a little bit tonight about what are those things that parents should be doing right now to make sure that Junior and Lemonitra get to walk across the stage so that they can move on to the next level. So Doc, you're Sophisticated Shannon, kind of fill folks in on how they can make this happen.
I have Sophisticated Shannon go first.
Ha! No, I think you should go first.
Well,
Go ahead.
Being at the comprehensive schools prior to my assignment now, we would have parents come up yelling at us, saying some bad things about why my kid is not graduating, and it's a shared responsibility. It's a village, right? In this stage, I don't know how a parent would not know how their kids are doing in schools, because we have a live system where as soon as teachers put in grades, parents can see it. They have access to their academic plans and their transcripts. So I don't know how parents get to the point, and usually we're blamed. Well, you didn't inform us. We didn't know. Well, guess what? If you're blaming us, it's our fault. Plus, it's your fault as a parent. And sometimes I've seen back in the day where students would buy a gown from a previous graduated senior. Wow. And trying to sneak on stage, because sometimes, the kids from high school, it's the first time anybody from the family is graduating. So it's a big deal. And the kids are not honest. They're not telling their parents, hey, out of the 4 years of school, I've maybe gone to school maybe 5 times, right? So in the comprehensive school setting, I've seen that happen a lot, where parents don't know, and they're yelling at us and they're demanding that their kids would graduate.
Wow. So they can.
I just think at this point, parents just got to be parents. You can't be your kid's friend. You got to double check and triple check to make sure everything is in order.
Yep.
Wow.
From 9th to the 12th, you can't stop.
Yep.
So what's the biggest excuse that you find when you tell folks that Junior's not graduating?
I remember it's always our fault. It's always the counselors that inform them. I think some parents might have in their mind that we're their personal secretaries, if you will.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, everything is there. We have also what is called a system that informs parents of parent night, open house events,
Sure.
other things, so they can get acclimated with their child's grades and attendance. Also, we still use this postal service. We still use that system. Send out official letters to parents. So yeah, it's our fault.
It's our fault. That's the truth.
Wow. So have you? What is normally the response you get from the child when you present? You lay the whole thing out, and it's like you didn't come on this, you didn't turn this in, whatever the case may be. What's normally the response of the child?
They try to make up 4 years within a week.
In a week.
And,
Apex, summer school, everything, whatever they can get in, they're gonna try.
right?
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So does that happen often where you give it, you lay it out, and then the child tries to say, well, can I come this weekend and make everything up? I'll bring all 500 written assignments and math assignments tomorrow morning. Does that happen?
Yes.
And do you accept it?
What do we have left? Like 5 Mondays left. I'm not counting, but I'm counting.
Like, wow, okay.
Wow, 5 Mondays. Okay. Wow.
And when I tell you they want you to open up everything, can you open this? Can you open that?
Sure. And is there? I'm sorry, Doc.
No, go ahead, please.
No, is there a hard fast rule on what you can and what you cannot open up if a child is missing stuff?
Well, Shannon's a great teacher. As a principal, there's one thing that I do not do is go into teachers' grades. I'll ask the teacher,
Okay.
hey, do you mind opening up? And it's really, really inconvenience for the teacher because,
Okay.
they're going back to August, to see what kids can make up, and they're grading work, past their normal work hours. One of the things that I want to say 99% of our teachers want to work with our students to make sure they have the opportunity to graduate.
Sure. Now, the one thing I do want to know, when you've had one of those conferences, have you just had one of those in person in the principal's office ass whippings happen because mom didn't realize that Junior wasn't coming to school? She beats him down right down in your office.
Yeah, it happened more when I was an assistant principal, but we just talked, and usually there's some circumstances where a child is bedridden, and then we have services for that, right? That they can't come to school. So usually I'll say, well, I can ask the teacher within the rules and regulations of our district.
Okay.
They are entitled not to reopen up any of the grades, past assignments, because there's a timeline.
Sure.
And I've said this just to teachers, educators. I don't know how kids are still not graduating now, especially with the resources we have. And Shannon talked about Apex. We have summer school. We have ESY that is free to our special education students. We have after school classes, before school classes. Even when they're seniors, we have an Apex period where they have about 5 days to finish that to graduate. So students have to work not to be able to graduate in a district because we provide many resources for them to succeed.
Okay.
We really do. I think you just want to fail. If you fail, you just want to. You really have to put a lot of work into it.
Yep.
Sure. Now, what is the difference between that kid that comes in and he or she hasn't done anything and a social promotion? What does that encapsulate?
Well, in our district, everyone is socially promoted. Parents have to, I believe parents have to go to the school board to retain their kids. So everyone is socially promoted. And if you're retained in middle school and you reach a certain age and still do not have the credits, you're automatically promoted to high school.
Yeah, you age out.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's some kids that, they come to school, they try and maybe not understand the content and are not proficient. Teachers go above and beyond to make sure those kids participate because they're there every day. They're trying. What we're talking about is the kids that either don't go to class or don't come to school. They go to class or on their phones, or they take a nap all day and do nothing, absolutely nothing. But they're on time for lunch. But they do absolutely nothing.
Right.
That's funny. Or they come back to take the bus home.
Right. Lunch and dismissal.
Yep.
Wow. And that's something, if you fail both of those too, you're really stupid.
Right.
That's funny.
And
Now,
one thing I need to add with our city is transiency with our parents, which is, their personal business or, what they need to do. They do not come to school and update their records. So, we'll have a kid that, like Shannon says, come to school, hide out, go to lunch, and then hide out again or don't participate, and then get back on that bus. And then parents are like, hey, you didn't notify me that my child was not here. And then we check the records and they have a new phone, or they have a new email address that is not updated in our system. And that I've seen that being a problem as well.
Or the best thing is, I checked my kid's location. He was at the school all day, but he didn't go to class.
Right.
All day. And that just killed me. How do you get up and actively get dressed to go to school to not go to class?
Yep.
But that's a whole nother conversation in itself.
Yep.
And you have a lot of that going on as well.
Yep.
Wow. And so what is normally the reaction you get when you tell mom, well, he might be,
and they just
in
walk the
building.
halls all day. I'm like,
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? Y'all trying to get steps in? What are we doing?
But you guys have processes in place though to keep people from walking the halls, correct?
Yes, we have campus monitors, school police. Our kids are smart. They sometimes they know the routines. They know where to hide out. So, or they'll go across the street to hang out. Or they go in. We have beautiful fields that they can hide out. Football, baseball fields. They can do that.
Wow. And
That
then
takes a lot of thought, though.
Yes.
So we have smart kids because that takes a lot to think of
Yep.
wow.
to do that.
Wow.
But as far as getting the kids in and getting the parents to be on the same page as getting them on to graduate, it takes a village, like Doc said. It takes a village.
Wow. And that's really too bad, when you think about it, especially our kids with
Yeah.
all that we had to go through
Mhm.
to get a public education. Because as you recall, years and years ago, as recently as 60 years ago, a lot of the facilities weren't available to our community.
Yep.
And so it's when you think about that, do you who do you throw the blame on with that, Doc and Sophisticated Shannon?
Well, I'm reading this book, the new Pink Slip, regarding Board of Education, when they Brown versus the Board of Education, when we started to integrate. And one of the things that just totally blew my mind that I totally missed, when that happened, a lot of our teachers, administrators, they were not afforded license. So we had like 80% of our administrators, Black administrators and Black teachers, that were denied. And that, I think that didn't help, because, when we were really taking care of our own, we made sure that, our kids were at school, that the community knew that the kids need to go to school.
Sure.
And that's one thing. And, again, like Shannon talked about, it's a village, and it's not our job. It's all of our jobs, even the parent. We have to make sure that our kids are there and go to the classes and participate and do well.
Wow. Yeah, and that's
I
and
agree.
again, mhm. And again, it's really unfortunate that that's happening, because you would think that you would take every opportunity to go in, learn as much as you can, and move on to the next level. Um, is this a generational thing, or what do you all think as experts? Why is this happening?
I think that, the time that we're in right now, with everyone that is talking, we're not paying attention to history. We're not paying attention to what's happened in the past. And sometimes when I was a dean of students, I would say, "Hey, you're at a nice school. Do you realize, like, my mother didn't have, her generation didn't have the opportunity to go to school like your grandparents, and people don't care."
And wow. And what, just for the clarity for some folks that don't understand all that.
Question. What do you
Yes.
guys think about the schools that possibly be closing?
Oh. Ooh. that was a mic drop.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess
What do
you
you
all
think
have,
about that?
you guys will have more to say about that than I.
well, geez, I think that's another show, because we need to have experts come in. I'm just going to give just the Cliff Note version. Parents have options now. Our charter schools are just, they're building across the country, and
They
parents have
are.
options. I know, when I started, maybe there was like Faith Gorman private schools, but there are more and more charters that are coming out, and they're very successful. And I can say this, they're more selectful of kids, right? Because if I have a kid with special needs, and I wanted them to go to a charter school, and they can say, well, with your child's IEP, we cannot adhere to it because we don't have the staff to make sure that your child is successful. So that's one thing that charter schools, that they can do to make sure that they have maybe the top of the line student. I'm not saying this about all charter schools, but this is what I've heard in the community regarding our students.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. I think yeah. I love that the parents have options now,
Mhm.
more options. I like that.
And if a child is causes issues within behavior in the classroom, the charter schools have a right to remove the child. Where a public school, I mean, it's for everybody. Everybody has uh, everybody has the right to go to a public school.
Right.
So what's the difference
I
between?
just hope we don't see a lot of city schools closed.
Say that again, Shannon. You went out.
I said I hope we don't see a lot of schools sitting because they're closed.
Yeah, just a little bit. You're still going in and out.
While Shannon's working it out, Doc, what's the difference between the public school and the charter school? Because we hear a lot about charter schools now. Are those funded by public funds, private funds? How do those work?
It depends. I know a little bit about it, not that much. I know there are the charter, there's a public charter and a private charter. So a private charter school is totally independent from our state.
Okay.
And our public charter is just another option for our students to go to.
Mhm.
Again, with the charter system in our state, I'm not too familiar with. But again, there are more and more opening up every year to give our
Okay.
students options. I'm seeing there's more private schools or religious schools that are
Okay.
opening up as well. So that is another option because some parents may not agree with some of the rules and regulations, policies of our schools. I know that last 5 years, it's been a hot topic with
Mhm.
what's in our library system
Okay.
in our public schools. So, so I'm seeing more of those open up as well.
And are they? I guess the perception is that they're a better situation than the public school. Is that correct, or is that just perception?
I know that at a private charter, you don't have to have a state license to teach.
Hmm.
I've seen that. I have not researched that recently, but I had a friend that her she didn't receive a degree, but they hired her as a third grade teacher.
Okay.
One of my fraternity brothers' girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
So I was shocked because with the state, with the license, there's things that you have to do. Obviously, go having a degree,
Sure.
and also you have to pass what is called the Praxis test, which is nationwide, where you have to have a certain score to teach.
And did she have the did she have the degree, or just, and she was missing that test, or she was missing both?
I don't think she was required to be licensed, so
Okay.
she did not have a degree.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
she might have had a degree in education, or excuse me,
Uh-huh.
in broadcasting because she was on the radio,
Sure.
but did not have a degree in education
Oh,
and
wow.
did not go through the ARL process. And that's if you have a degree, you can go through this process to teach in a public school in our state.
Okay. And how long does that normally take? I've already got a degree, so I'm just interested in becoming a second grade teacher. What does that normally look like?
I am not sure. Maybe a year or two of intense classes. I know Teach for America is really big. in our country, where people receive their bachelor's degree in whatever they want, but they go through the Teach for America process.
Sure.
And I really like the company because they provide extra resources and provide support for teachers during the school year as well. So they really want their teachers to be successful.
Okay. And that's pretty much a highly respected agency for folks to go through to get the certifications.
Well, when I was assistant principal, we had a lot of TFA teachers. And, there's some skepticism, right?
Okay.
You didn't go through a traditional education school. And there might be some lines drawn within the teacher corps. But I had some great teachers out of TFA. They were really good, and the kids loved them, which is very important to have positive relationships with students. But with TFA, you might get some pushback from the teachers from the traditional schools.
Okay, got it. And you said the process takes about 2 years.
That was a long time ago. I maybe again, they gave you intense training, and then they basically put you out in the field, right, at the school. And as a district, we provide supports, but they provide supports where they are sending out coordinators to observe classrooms and give positive feedback, which I thought was really great. It helped me out as an administrator, where I really didn't have to worry about them. But I just like the support that the teachers received.
Okay. Well, that's good. It's good to know that that there are places out there that try to get you the best and the brightest.
Yep.
And especially now. And now, has all of this stuff with the Department of Education, is that discouraging people to get into the profession, or how is that impacting what you all are doing on a daily basis?
There are some concerns, but if you have the passion to teach, teachers are they're going to go to school to be teachers.
Okay.
To inspire students. I know that within our district, we need special education teachers. There's always openings for those positions. The specific positions, maybe not so, but I think regardless of what is happening with the DOE, I think our generation, they're not really interested. Our new generation, they're not really interested in teaching.
Okay. Wow. And I often wonder, well, I'm sure in this day of AI, once they hit that critical point, they'll probably turn to AI to teach people, either teach you to become a teacher, or to say, okay, well, this next class of trigonometry, we're going to have an AI instructor teaching them trigonometry. I'm sure that's where we're headed, just looking at everything else. In fact, I'll translate it to my own profession. I saw that in Miami, they now have an automated police car that they've got deployed out on the street. And it doesn't, at least according to what I saw, it is not authorized to do fast chases and that kind of stuff, but you see where we're going. We've got automated police cars, and they got the robots and all the other things. I'm sure it's just a matter of time before AI is your math teacher or your history teacher.
Well, we have AI to help with instruction, not to deliver instruction. And it is, I think we have to understand that, I'm at the age where, if I go to a fast food restaurant I don't know if you want to call it a restaurant, but
Sure.
a fast food place,
Okay. Yeah.
I get annoyed where they have these big iPad machines, right?
Yeah. Me
I
too.
want to talk to somebody, and
That's
I'm
right.
so introverted anyway, but I want to tell you my order. And that's where most of these places are going to, where
Sure.
hey, we can save money and have AI, but we're missing the biggest component is
Yep.
that mentorship, that one-on-one, the extra belief that students can achieve and things like that I think we're missing. And again, AI is good to isolate different proficiencies that are not there with students, and try to tailor instruction. But again, um, if we do that, I don't think that would be a good idea for uh, a class of students to go and have just AI to be their instructor. That's
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. I just look at, you know, you gave the perfect example. You know, you're at McDonald's and now you have to punch into a keypad to get what you want. I remember calling in the other day. I was trying to get something straight with Best Buy, trying to
Yep.
arrange some service, and they kept taking me to all these prompts.
Yep.
And unfortunately, what the AI prompt was asking me was not what I needed.
Yep.
You know, and it kept asking me the same question. I kept telling them, no, I don't. You know, none. All 300 of the choices they gave me, none of them were what I needed. You
Right.
know, and it was really frustrating.
Yep.
And so, and you know, so that's why I kind of see them going in that direction because they've already got you sort of used to interacting with a machine when you call into like Citibank or you know Best Buy or wherever it is you're trying to do business, even the airlines now. And
Yep.
so,
Hmm.
you know, but I guess the concern with that is I don't necessarily know if AI would have enough whatever to pick up on the fact that the reason you're having problems, Tony, is because you haven't eaten in 3 days,
Right.
or to you just being stupid. You
Right.
know what I mean? And so, but I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it never comes to that. But I just kind of see that happening.
So let me ask you, and I think we're in the same space where, again, I see those in certain areas in our city. You see those, I don't know what you call it, but they're like a big metal machine and has a big pole that goes all the way up, and it has like blue and red lights that
Oh,
flash.
yeah, the cameras. Mhm.
Okay, so it's kind of like, okay, we know it's there. Something happens. Our police officers will be there quickly.
Mhm.
And then again, that you're using technology to assist people to do their job, right? And with AI within instruction, again, we're trying to isolate where students may lack some of the standards that they need to improve on. That's good, but turning on the video, it's not good. It's not good because you don't know what's going on in the classroom. You have 35 kids in there, and there could be a fight. There could be
Exactly.
drugs happening. I mean, there's so many things that you need supervision for those classrooms.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Doc, as always, man, I certainly appreciate the conversation, man. We, of course, we had some technical challenges because we haven't been here for a minute, but
Yeah,
I think we'll get this thing where we need it to be
absolutely.
in short order. But again, I think, I think we covered on some things that we need to follow up on, particularly that potentiality of AI taking over the schools
Yep.
in some kind of significant manner. I think
Yep.
that's something that definitely needs to be discussed in the future.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
yes, sir. So anyway, and of course it was good having sophisticated Shannon back. And when we work through these issues, man, we're gonna have her back live and in full view for her fans.
I think the her phone didn't work on the charter plane to Greece, and then she just came back.
That's right.
From Hawaii, you know. I mean,
that's right. Well, when you're big time like that, I'm just thankful for my pay as you go unit. You know what I mean? Yes, sir.
But you know, she talked about something that that we can talk about a little bit later. You know, charter schools and
absolutely,
they're closing a lot of schools in our district.
Yeah.
And, we can have some guests come on and just talk about it and what we can
do. Oh yeah, we're gonna make that happen for sure. So anyway, Dr. T, you'd like to take us out of here, sir?
All right, Chief. Thank you. It's good seeing you again.
And also, Doc, if you could hang out for just a second after the show, we need to get some more knowledge from you.
Absolutely.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to Straight No Chaser Talk Radio. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Straight No Chaser Talk Radio. No watered down issues. We serve the good stuff. Good stuff. Only one can bring this much fun. Straight No Chaser Talk Radio. Straight No Chaser Talk Radio. No watered down issues. We serve the good stuff. Good stuff. Only one can bring this much fun. Straight No Chaser Talk Radio.